welcome to Love Art. I'm going to take a quick look at Wonder Woman by John Byrne Omnibus. This is a wonderful book if you're into John Byrne, and if you're into Wonder Woman, this is definitely something to get. I'm just going to do a quick look because it's absolutely huge. Beautiful cover. Yeah, just nice colors on there too. There's some people who say they don't like seeing some of the classic artists with all this shaded color work. When it's done right, I think it's beautiful. I think this cover is beautiful. I prefer seeing a lot of the classic artists that I grew up with modern colors, actually. I'm one of those people who would love to see that done all the time. Just because back then, the color process, that's the reason they use simple colors, is because they use four-color color process on cheap newsprint with this really dotty printing. I remember growing up as a kid, I wasn't like, oh, this is great, this is the way it should look. I always thought, how come this doesn't look like other magazines? Like, how come this doesn't look like my Frazetta art book that's printed all nice and smooth, and the colors are rich and beautiful and smooth and that kind of stuff, right? So I was pretty happy when I got older and things changed, and comics were now printed on better paper and colored digitally with these beautiful smooth colors. And I think a lot of that classic stuff should be recolored, but that's my opinion. So just because it was the limits of the technology, not the skill and all that kind of stuff. I still like the idea of keeping the same color palettes, though. You stay true to the original color palettes, and then you shade them up, you make them look cool. This cover is absolutely beautiful. I love that. I love those colors. It varies, of course. Not all the colors, will always suit the person's work 100%, but that cover is great. Anyway, regardless, let's have a look at this omnibus. I've already talked way too much. I have no idea why I got into that. But look at this stuff. This is great. This is awesome. It's a very interesting work, very dynamic, very bold. He's got stuff going off the pages. He's got all these panels, intersecting panels, people jumping out of panels. It's just beautifully done. He's got so much synergy, so much energy. This stuff is all just packed full of stuff like this. He's one of those artists who likes to experiment from time to time. Actually, I'd say he always experiments a little. Even though you can always recognize his style, he'll still play with his inking style and his layouts. He's always been a fan of playing with panel layouts, even when he was doing it less in some of his early works with Fantastic Four and X-Men. He didn't do too much of that back then. He did like the idea of it, though. Like he would talk about how he loved one of his inspirations. I'm trying to remember his name now. Neil Adams. He loved his layouts and the way he would make panels on slants and overlapping and all this kind of stuff. I think he one-upped it in many ways. I think his layouts and the use of those sort of panels, John Byrne's use, is much cooler, a more modern feeling. So he sort of based it on that idea, but then did his own thing with it eventually, and it just personally just got better and better what he did with his layouts. Very dynamic, great use of these. But everyone always, there's. Everything everyone does is based on the work prior, right? Inspired by previous artists. This stuff's great. Look at this panel, eh? She's holding up a bridge. This giant panel here. It looks great. This guy's one of those artists who can just draw anything and everything he desires. She just knows how to draw everything. And pretty dang good, too. So anyway, so let's look. As I said, I don't think, as I was saying, I don't want to go too far into this. I don't want to. I like some of the nice shadows here and stuff like that. Some of the lighting there is kind of cool. I don't want to look at the whole book, but I will flip through some more of it. It is a cool book. Again, if you're into Wonder Woman, and if you're into John Byrne especially, this is a great book to get. He's one of those artists who can do like anywhere from basically 2 to 3 to 4 pages a day. There was times where in the 80s, I believe, he was working on 3 to 4 titles a month. Like this guy's his output is unbelievable, yet he can still remain so detailed. I mean, this omnibus is only one of many that have collected his work over the years under many different titles. This guy's just phenomenal. This is a cool issue, actually. This one is inked by Tom Palmer, which I believe also inked his run on, I think, The Hidden Years. I think it's X-Men The Hidden Years. I believe that's what it's called. He did a run in that, and The Hidden Years takes place during a time where I believe Neil Adams was working on the X-Men, and the inker for Neil Adams was Tom Palmer, so he wanted a bit of that same look. So he actually got Tom Palmer to ink these pages because it's The Hidden Years. It takes place in that time period, right? So this is a great combination of styles. I really like the look of this. There's a great, I think, double page spread coming up. I hope I didn't skip it. I don't think so. Look at this. Great shadows. Definitely a combination of styles at times. Tom Palmer does the finishes, actually, and John Byrne does the story and breakdowns. But John Byrne's breakdowns, many people have said, look very much like his pencils. They're very tight for breakdowns. So I'm sure they're not quite as tight, but you can definitely see in the faces and stuff there's a combination of styles between the two. But I'm definitely also seeing a lot of John Byrne, so he must have had pretty tight breakdowns. Like, I'm seeing more John Byrne than anything else, really, but definitely it is a combination of styles. That double page spread is just beautiful. It's mostly architecture, but really well done. Look at that. That's just great. But we can also, just again, the combination of styles, the use of shadows and everything. It's just the line work. Beautiful, beautiful. So anyway, look at that. Yeah, again, lots of detail. A lot of this too. Beautiful work. He's a very prolific artist and writer. He's done so much for comics. It's unbelievable. Here we are back to the old... his own inking. I found it very interesting. As I said, he sometimes plays with his style. When he's done comics so much. I found it interesting watching the development of the art in this particular run. His inking at the beginning is a little like hatchier and more expressive. He's always expressive, but in a different way, like reminiscent sometimes of kind of what was going on at Image Comics at the time. I wouldn't say it's heavily Image Comics influenced, but I wondered if he played with a bit of those aesthetics from time to time. And there was a few more double page spreads at the beginning that were reminiscent of what they were doing. He does do double page spreads pretty often, regardless. But he's done them since I can remember, since the 80s and stuff, right? So, although I believe he's been doing comics since the 70s, but look at that. That looks great. Some more cool architecture. I believe that's the source wall or something like it. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking, whatever it is. Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah. But, I was wondering if at the beginning he was playing with a bit of that, some of those aesthetics, the sort of like the line work was more reminiscent, and even some of the layouts at times, of the kind of Image mindset. Not drastically, but I'm wondering if he was influenced a little at the time, or just playing with it. He's one of those artists who likes to play with the style. But as the book progresses, it smooths out. This is like less hatchy already, halfway through, and it's smoother and more going towards his standard way of inking. I love both, to be honest. There's some of the hatchy stuff has some incredibly interesting qualities, and some of the later stuff does too. So, it's great work. So anyway, I don't want to do the whole book. I'll just flip through really quickly here, show you a few more things, and so there we go. That's oh wow, they include. That's right, they include. I forgot about that. This is awesome. This is John Byrne doing. Okay, I guess I'll make it a little longer. John Byrne doing breakdowns with George Perez doing finishes. Two of my favorite artists when I was growing up. Definitely both had an influence on me as an artist during my formative years. But yeah, this is a great combo. George Perez really went crazy with the details. He did add a lot. I did see some of the breakdowns for this one. There's some stuff that was a little more defined, but there was a lot that was not super defined. So he added a lot. But this is but you can still, again, see a lot of John Byrne. So it's very interesting. But it's beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah, that's good to show that some of that as well. But anyway, again, great. Look at the detail. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's a great. It's a great run by John Byrne. Yeah, he boasted himself, but he's got a few, surprise guests here and there. I believe this was this, I guess, was this a Wonder Woman book? I guess it would have been. Yeah, that was some different artist completely there. But, yeah. But anyway, regardless, yeah, this it's cool that they included this. This is a great omnibus. Highly recommend it. Yeah. And yeah, there's the back. Here's the front. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. John Byrne's run on Wonder Woman. Thanks for watching. Yeah, have a great day. Take care. Much love and peace.